it wasn't satisfying to watch because you never got any kind of resolution. It was just more questions.
Yeah, well...
Which is why I gave up.
Yeah, but...
I think I gave up.
You gave up, like, after 4 episodes.
Yeah. Well, when did the smoke appear?
Episode 1.
Oh. I was around then.
Yes. Hello, and welcome to Incomplete Geeks, a gay geek podcast, where we explore many different geekdoms. Sometimes we're experts, and sometimes our knowledge is a bit...
Incomplete.
Incomplete, yes. This is episode 32. I am your host, John. I will smoke your monster. And over there is your host, Nick, who's got a hatch of his own you can explore. Today we are talking about the TV show Lost.
I was going to do the theme song, but it's just like...
I'm very sad that this episode is not episode 4, 8, 15, or 16, or 23 or 42.
There's lots of different numbers it could have been.
Yeah. I don't want to wait until episode 42.
Is that an important number in it?
4, 8, 15, 16, 23. 42! Yes, you're 42.
42. But okay.
And I'm 23. So makes perfect sense.
At least emotionally you are.
Yeah, so we're talking about Lost.
So we're going to talk about Lost because you've been talking about it like you wanted to do an episode on it for ages.
Yeah.
It's a good geekdom.
It is a good
It was a very pivotal point in our millennial lives.
Yeah. Yes.
I am not a fan. I don't remember much of it. I'm wondering if it's actually gay at all. It feels very heterosexual, but we'll get into that. It feels very straight.
Do you want the spoiler answer? And I'll explore it later.
It's super straight.
It's not gay at all.
Not gay at all. Not even the gayness of it.
What is the gayness of it?
So...
There isn't any.
No, but it doesn't necessarily have to have gay characters in order to be gay.
Right, true,
as
fair.
we discussed before. But it feels like it's very much written for the straights. The straights. Rather than the queers as well. The straights.
So straight you had to say it twice.
The straights. So, this is my very limited experience or memories of Lost.
Go.
Which may not be accurate, but I remember Lost came out in
2004.
Which was roughly the same time Grey's Anatomy came out.
And that show's still on, isn't it?
Yeah. Still going. Air quotes strong. I remember because I just moved to London, and I think Grey's used that as part of its advertising campaign. It's gets more viewers than Lost.
Oh, really?
Yeah. Interestingly, until a couple of years ago, Grey's Anatomy didn't have gay men characters in it.
Really?
Isn't that dumb? That is gay.
I'm so upset with TV in this regard because it seems like unless did it really?
Yeah.
Oh yeah, TJ Knight.
Yeah.
TR Knight? TK Knight?
I don't care.
TJ Maxx, something one of the two.
One of those.
Sorry if you're listening. But every TV show that isn't about being gay has 0 gay characters unless they shoehorn something in. I'm overgeneralizing a little bit, but prove me wrong.
They have gays. I think there's gays in it now. Pretty sure it's played by hot straight guys.
Ugh.
So that it's very, very palatable gay. But we've
palatable gay.
It's hey, we're gay, but we're ripped and we're monogamous and we don't talk about it. Anyway.
Or like you say, it happens with comic books. It's we are gay. Wait, we're just bisexual. Let me find a straight person to make out with.
Yeah.
Oh, anyway.
So yes. So that's kind of and I loved Grey's. I was obsessed with that up until season 10, 11 when Christina left. So I kind of chose which big drama series I was going to get behind.
Yeah.
And it was not Lost.
It was not lost on you.
It was not.
Ooh.
The irony is not lost on
me. It's gonna be, I kind of have always been a sucker for that crazy big concept sci-fi-ish adjacent fantasy things. And that goes back to when I was exposed. Sorry, I had a short circuit there for a second. When I was exposed to shows like Buffy the Vampire Slayer, all that kind of otherworldliness of the shows, and I didn't watch the first season when it came out. I was aware of it, and 2004 is the first year that I came to London, and and then a year after that, I think I forget who introduced me to it, but was told to watch it, and I watched the first season, like pretty much straight through. It probably was the person I was seeing at the time. And then we watched, like, it became one of the shows we watched together.
Oh, that's nice. Yeah.
And then I kind of was obsessed with it. Like, season 2 still is probably my favorite season. It's only 6 seasons long. Before we go too much further, should we say spoilers? Because I thought maybe we could talk about non-spoilery things first. But it is a show that existed 20 years ago.
20 years old. I think we're fine. I think everybody knows the big twist.
No, don't say it. Do not say it. No, that's definitely on my list of things to talk about. We're getting to that point. Please. This is one of the reasons I want to talk about this episode, is because people who think that, I'm going to set the record straight. If anybody who hasn't watched it religiously, it's such a good show.
Was it good for its entirety? Or did you love the start of it and then you were like, it finished and you kind of forgave like the second half of it for being a bit shite?
I think both are true in different degrees. You can say the same thing about Game of Thrones, where the show was so good the first 4,
exactly,
and then it kind of started to go down a bit.
5 and 6.
I think Lost still kept up its quality if it got a few things wrong. I don't love every aspect of the show. There are certain things I really hate about it. Like, for example, the religious imagery that keeps popping up in certain elements of it. On the other hand, I really do like the difference between, like, the science versus faith discussion that happens as the subtext between your characters of Jack and Locke.
Okay.
But
we're getting ahead of ourselves.
So, needless to say, it's not my fate. It's not everything was perfect about it, but it's still a really high quality show.
So, 15 words or less, how would you summarize that show?
You mean plot-wise, or?
Give the blurb of the show.
The blurb of the show? Oh! Okay. Are you keeping track of the number of words? Here we go. Plane crash survivors.
Is plane crash one word or 2?
2.
Okay.
We'll go for 2. Plane crash survivors encounter various mysteries and dangerous figures on a South Pacific island. Sexy.
That makes it sound sexier than it actually is.
That's pretty much the gist of it. The whole concept of the show, like, is that good segue into my first point. The whole premise of the show was so good because it's on the surface just a like plane crash survivors on a deserted island. Yeah. Then as you watch even the first episode, it's like the premise is this thing that we all understand, plane crashes, and then, oh wait, there's a flying smoke monster in the first episode. There's mysterious people on the island who you don't see. They come to, like, abduct, maybe kill some of the survivors. They're called the Others. There's a fucking polar bear. Like, there's all these mysteries that are opened on the very first episode that draw you in and makes you want to watch more.
Do you think the concept of the show was really popular because in a similar way to, like, zombie apocalypse, getting trapped on a desert island is kind of a stereotypical privileged white person fantasy? Let me explain.
Please do, because I don't know what you're talking about.
In how I think a lot of privileged straight guys could get kind of caught up in the idea of, like, how they would survive a desert island and how they would survive the zombie apocalypse.
Okay.
It's an enticing concept that this impossible, horrible thing that we talk about a lot, stranded on desert island.
Yeah.
And you see these characters who are teachers or criminal or whatever, just plain old people, stepping up and going back to their, like, but he built that and he's actually a sharpshooter and that sort of stuff. And it gives kind of these, like, men a chance to be like, yeah, he's kicking out and that kind of, do you know what I mean? The same way, like, the whole world ends.
Excuse me.
And there's loads of people, like, zombies break out and the whole world ends. And there are so many straight guys who think, like, yeah, I'd get a crossbow and I'd be that guy.
I never thought of that because I don't know. But it is kind of a thing.
It's such a fantasy to see how, if you have lots of things to kind of fantasize about how you would survive without them.
I totally get what you're saying as a trope, but I don't see that in this show. I think there's like a one.
Well, that's not the show. That's the audience. So
Oh.
is that why the audience responded to it so well?
Is
In
that
the same
why
way
the
that
show-
like gays and girls like soap operas and dramas because they get caught up in the romance. Shows like that and Walking Dead, straight people get caught up in the fantasy. They're like, yeah, fucking kill everyone and like that kind of thing. And the same reason they liked Walter Breaking Bad dude because they're
Yeah.
like, what if I was a fucking drug dealer? Yeah,
I
I
could
can
do that.
I could fucking do it.
Although that show doesn't really end really well for
I
him.
haven't watched that either, but because I missed that train. I don't know. It's just a.
I mean, I can get it.
thought.
As you watch the show, though,
Straight people.
right
there's
in.
none- there's none listening. There's none listening. But if you know a straight person, don't.
Who likes?
Stop it. Stop it now.
If you know a straight person who has watched the show Lost and loves it, ask them why.
And
Let
do-
us know.
And do they kind of like jerk off at the thought of like how they'd be badass on a desert island? I feel like it's a thing.
I feel like you want it to be
Like
a
it's a
thing.
thing. Like,
I'm not
yeah,
aware of it.
segue, which we can cut out. If you knew you were going to be stranded on a desert island,
Mm-hmm.
do you pack to survive and escape,
Ugh.
or to go out in a blaze of fucking glory? Like, you
What?
wind down, get drunk, take drugs, wait for the end.
Oh, I'd probably do that.
Yeah, right?
'Cause, like, why would I-
I think it's because of our age.
Maybe.
I asked a 20-something-year-old, she's like, packing to survive. I was like, yeah, I've already done 20 years. I'm good. I'll just wind this out.
I mean,
Yeah.
like you can still do things to like increase your chances of being rescued, but I'm not gonna try to
I'm not
like.
gonna focus on it. I'm not gonna. Can I see land? No, fuck it then.
I'll draw a big help in the sand with rocks or something, and then just spend my days.
Uh,
I might catch fish, but I'm not gonna like pack to be like whatever.
no, I'm not gonna. Yeah, we need to work it now. Whatever, just pack some drugs.
We have to have batteries and
No,
bottled water.
whatever. We'll just die sooner or later.
I
Just
mean,
make it
bottled
sooner
water.
or
It'd
later.
be, yeah, but if you could choose the way that you die, do you want to die of like starvation or like dehydration,
Which one makes you crazy?
frostbite, hypothermia,
Would get on this island. But sunstroke. Might go
sunstroke?
crazy.
Yeah, you could do sunstroke. Yeah.
And if you've got like some booze or some drugs, just go full in and just die. Take some mushrooms and jump off a cliff.
Die
I can
happy.
fly. No, you can't. Anyway, sorry. That's where my brain went with this. So Lost. They crash.
You like that's an episode as well. I think that's a Hurley episode where he's like goes to he's gone a bit crazy and he finds a cliff which never appears elsewhere in the series, and then gets talked down by Libby. Anyway, it's a good episode.
Who's Libby?
Exactly. She's one of the tailies. She gets killed off way too soon.
Who's a Taily?
The tail section of the plane that they discover in season 2. I have thoughts about them.
I'm already tired.
Oh my gosh, you should be. It's so good. It's so like, okay. The one thing about this show that that it did really really well is that there's fucking twists on every episode. There's some kind of twist. Like,
See, I found that to be a bad thing because all they did was just keep introducing bullshit twists, but you didn't get any kind of resolution from it. Like, oh, there's a polar bear. Oh, there's smoke. Oh, here's the thing. It's like, give me an answer or something to
Yeah.
fun. It just kept adding it on and on.
So-
And so that's why I gave it really fucking early. So
that's a valid point because sometimes they don't. One of the reasons that the finale was so despised was because it is a show that's based on setting up all these mysteries and
didn't deliver.
problems and sci-fi stuff and doesn't explain them all, and we'll get to that as well. But some of the twists are because of the okay. So as you know, you've watched a few episodes. That's the nature of the show is basically you focus on one character and flash back to to their life before they got on the plane.
Do they do that throughout or just season 1?
They do that throughout,
Okay.
but asterisk. They do that throughout. Every episode focuses on a character, with a very few rare exceptions, and they look at what they did. And those kind of flashbacks also provide twists to the kind of person they are, or like why they're there, kind of thing.
Yeah.
Which might serve to better understand the character, which I really, really like, or it might serve to add to the mythology of the show, which if it doesn't pay off in the end or not, we'll see. But the weird Lost was such a good show because of the legacy it left behind. I mean, that whole concept of focusing on a character per episode is everywhere. Like the two of the producers on this show went on to make Once Upon a Time, another ABC show, and they basically did that, you know. And then that's just one example.
Because you can't think of any others.
I should have written down more.
But no, that's fine. And it was, I mean, it's one of the first shows that, like, the whole purpose of the show was getting an answer, getting the ending.
Yeah.
You know, we love Buffy, but Buffy wasn't all about the ending.
No, Buffy
was the journey.
The journey, sort of stuff.
And Lost was unique in that from episode 1,
yeah,
it's like, what's the ending? What's happening? What's going on? It's pretty much building
what's
up
going on.
Possible ending.
I think
it was this mystery, and that's the first I can think of it being.
The I think it's the first episode, the pilot episode, where one of the characters literally says, "Guys, where are we?" That was Charlie, the one who was in Lord of the Rings. So that's the whole premise.
I used to fancy him, but
where are we?
He's a terrible person. So.
Apparently, oh, that's a shame. Really?
Yeah.
There were rumors that he and his Pippin counterpart were.
Yay!
You don't care? Okay. Anyway. Yeah. Oh, and also it's a concept show, so like
yes,
this big concept.
That's much more an elegant way of saying what I was trying to say is like building up to this big ending.
Yeah.
It's a very specific concept.
Yeah.
Like teenagers in the life of people in a hospital. It's very
mysterious island with weird things happening on it.
People want to know what the fuck.
Yeah.
And that's the whole premise of it.
And regarding the twist as well, every time you think you get an answer to something, it still opens up like 2 or 3 other mysteries. You're like, well, hang on, if that's who that is, then what the fuck was he doing there? Or like, what's the connection here? And it did that really well, where it just kind of kept you watching. And I think it was one of the first shows where people really sort of contributed. They took part in talking about the mysteries online, having theories. And
what was the internet like back then?
I don't know. I think it was there wasn't very many shows like that before where people really got sucked into what the fuck is happening.
Did we have social media back then?
I don't know. I'm old.
2004. I don't know if we did.
2004.
Facebook was
soon. New. Facebook was new.
If it was around in 2004.
Yeah.
If at all. I feel like it was 2005.
So because it came out the same year that it came to London.
What, Facebook or Lost?
No, that's a complete lie. No, I first came to London in 2007.
I was going to say, you didn't beat me. I was here in 2005.
And I remember being on Facebook in college, like creating an account and saying,
and I was not, and that would have been really helpful just for it to say, likes, boys. Which I know is the whole point of the fucking platform in the first place. 2004...
was when Lost came out, yeah.
Was when Facebook...
Oh, so it was the same year?
Was founded.
Right, okay.
Maybe, probably wasn't quite as widespread. Yeah, so where, chat rooms? Like,
I guess.
Reddit kind of style stuff? Forums? That was kind of... There were Buffy forums, so there would have been a...
Yeah, there definitely was. The Lost forum, which is called The Fuselage, was a very large sort of gathering. I was on it very briefly because I kind of was scared about how many people were just sort of talking about it, and I couldn't keep up. So I was like, hi, bye. But it was a community where people discuss theories and similar to Reddit, exactly like you said.
Yeah.
So the fact is different than how you binge watch shows. Like back then when it came out, like we did with Game of Thrones when it came out, every single episode was like you had a week, sometimes more, to talk about it, to discuss, to digest what happened, and you got really caught up in it. So instead of binging shows like we do nowadays, where you watch a series in like 2 or 3 days if you really wanted to, you had to stick with this show for years if you were into it.
Years. Like, it was difficult enough watching WandaVision all the way through to the end. You had to wait every week. What the fuck is going on?
Yeah.
Which did way better. But 6 goddamn years to find out the end.
Yeah. Imagine if we had the things we do now Imagine if we had the things we have now back then, like episode by episode breakdowns. So like, oh, did you see this bit here?
Oh my god, the Easter eggs on YouTube would have been awful. Like, extensive. They probably would have got caught out. Like,
What do you mean?
the scrutiny that people have to create shows under now because people can watch them in such
Yes.
detail. They probably didn't have to worry about it.
Well, it's a good point because at the time, ABC Studios, which I don't think they were called, I think halfway through the show, ABC. I remember seeing like ABC Studios production suddenly at the bottom of the credits in the beginning of the show, which I always watch. And I was like, oh, that's a new thing. Is that because of this show? Because Lost was so commercially successul the first couple of years that they wanted to keep going, and the writers and creators, including J.J. Abrams, Damon Lindelof,
JJ, I knew there was.
Yeah.
Wasn't there like a geeky guy at the heart of it?
Carlton Cuse.
JJ.
Oh, you mean J.J. Abrams? Okay, yeah.
Abrams is the one, yeah.
He left after like 2-3 seasons, whatever. Gave it to Damon Lindelof.
Is that when I went?
I have issues with him, but I watched an interview he did like years later, where he was talking about The Leftovers, which is the show he did after Lost.
I was obsessed with season one.
I've
of
seen,
that show.
yeah,
How many did they do? 'Cause
3, I think. I've only seen season 1, 2.
I was enthralled by season 1.
Yeah,
Again, it's this concept like, what happens if everything's
Yes.
ruined and everything like that?
yeah. Well, even though it was only like 2% of the
But then,
population.
like,
Anyway,
I couldn't keep watching.
so Damon Lindelof made that show, and in the same vein, it was like a mystery that they proposed. The premise was the mystery, and they didn't feel the need to have to explain it. So
They
they were,
never gave the answer for that.
yeah. I heard the finale was satisfying of that show, but I haven't seen it.
Maybe we should watch it.
I'll probably check it out at some point. I'll add it to my
Most people
list.
watch Justin Theroux's Dong.
Oh yeah, who I didn't know that I want to see more of. Never heard of him before that show. Anyway, so I was
Charlie's
watching.
Angels Full Throttle with his fantastic Irish accent.
Oh, was
Do
he
you
in
not
that?
know that?
No.
He was the bad guy, her ex-boyfriend in Charlie's Angels Full Throttle.
That's
I'm gonna tell you about pain.
What?
I'm Irish, I'm gonna tell you about pain. Pain. Why? Why did he need to be Irish? No one needed him to be Irish.
I can't say
Unless he
anything.
was Irish. Anyway, just bring in a gay. Bring in a gay.
Make it gay.
Talk
Make
about
it gay.
Dick and Charlie's Angels. Gay.
Like that's a film that I definitely know that I have seen, but I couldn't tell you anything about
The
it.
second one.
Yeah, I've seen both of them.
I love them so hard. It's
Such
so
trash in a good way.
Oh, such fantastic.
Anyway, to bring it back, I was watching an interview where he was talking about The Leftovers.
Yeah.
And the interview was like, I gotta ask you this. Like, I have you here. I need to ask you about like what the fuck happened with Lost. Like, why did it end that way? Why did you not answer all these questions? And you could see on Damon Lindelof's face, he was just like, okay,
Fuck off.
here's how, he was a really good answer. And I don't remember the exact details, but he basically was like, well, I didn't look at it just now. I didn't think we'd talk about this.
I thought
He
you
was
were
just,
prepared for the episode. But
he was
okay.
just like, listen, I was given the helm of this show and had to create a story that kept bringing people back and continue this flashback setup in different ways, because they changed that in later seasons, but it was still sort of focusing on a character, and I had to sort of figure out how to make a resolution for these characters that may not answer every single sci-fi mystery question out there, but at least I can bring an ending to the story. And I thought, that's fair. Like, because I remember thinking about the ending of the show, like it was a really, really good emotional resolution for the characters in spite of the religious imagery and connotations, but it may not have answered everything. And I was kind of okay with that, but I totally understand why people were not, and they hated it, because it didn't answer all the questions.
It was still like 20-something episodes a season, right? Back then.
The first 3 was 20-something, and then in season 3, they decided... They had a talk with the studios, and they said, we need to have a prescribed end to this show.
Yeah.
Because basically they would think we can't keep exploring these characters' backstories. We're running out of stuff to talk about. And they said, and they agreed, because it was a big moneymaker, they agreed, okay, 6 seasons total. You can end after 6. And then so seasons 4, 5, 6 were like 14, 15, 16 episodes, something like that. And also I remember the fourth season, between the third and fourth, at some point in there was the Writers Guild of America struck. They struck. They held a strike, and so they stopped working on TV. Went on strike. Yeah, they struck. And so they had to deal with that, which is why there was like a gap in the middle of season 3, and then season 4 was like truncated, and then season 5 and 6 were just the same. So anyway, they had an end to the show, which also was a big deal back then because you didn't do that with TV shows in terms of high concept.
Well, they did, yeah. If it's high concept, you have to have an ending.
Yeah.
Whereas if it's just life, Ross and Rachel get together, done.
If it's life, what?
Ross and Rachel get together, blah blah.
Oh yeah.
Just ending is fine.
Yeah, that's fine.
Everyone gets married and has kids, done.
Fine.
That's what all of them do.
They discover that he finally meets the mother.
And then ends up with Robin.
Yeah, exactly. So they continued the 26 and a half minutes so far. They continued the concept of the flashbacks, but the big twist at the end of season 3 is that it was actually a flash forward. So you see Jack talking about this, and you see him like a flashback, and then he meets Kate, and then she says, "We have to go back. We have to go back." And everyone's like, "What? They got off the island? It's amazing."
I feel like now is the good point to say we're gonna do spoilers.
Fine. Spoilers. I'll cut that bit out because basically...
No, that's fine. No, that's fine. Because, first of all, it's 20 years old.
Oh, yeah.
It's
Okay,
fine. But let's not, for you, stop worrying about it. Let's get into it because I want to ask.
Also, I want to mention as well, Lost is considered one of the best TV shows of all time by a lot of major publications, including Empire Magazine was the 9th best TV show of all time. IGN called it 8th. Entertainment Weekly called it 8th. The Empire Magazine... Guess who was called Lost the 9th best TV show of all time? Guess what show was 8th?
Buffy
the Vampire Slayer, correct. And 10th was also Doctor Who, so a lot of nerdiness. Good TV shows.
Was number 1 Game of Thrones?
No, number 1 was like Breaking Bad.
Oh yeah, forget about that one.
And I think
That's
they put...
fine. I don't mind, you can have that one. Number 2, Avatar The Last Episode.
Yes. No, it was Game of Thrones.
Don't laugh about that.
It was
one of the highest rated...
cartoons.
Yes, it's still a
Yeah.
show. It's the highest critically rated show there. We're going to do an episode on that another day.
Yes, we will. So...
Right, let's move on. What were some of the best twists?
Okay. Let me...
Give me 3, because otherwise we'll go on forever.
Oh my gosh. This can't be a really detailed episode. We're only scratching the surface, by the way.
Yeah, that's fine. We don't have to tell them everything. It's available to stream now on... I don't even know, man.
Disney Plus, because it's ABC.
Is it? There we go. Available to stream on Disney Plus should you want to spend how many hours of your life? Yeah.
How many episodes were there? I wonder. 20, so not quite 100.
Like you printed off 7 pages of stats for Buffy. You didn't write down how many episodes this was?
You told me off.
Printed it off! Anyway.
Hang on, I can look. I think I have the page right here.
You carry on.
Okay.
You think of the twists and I'll think of the episodes.
121 episodes.
121 hours of your life if you want to waste on this show.
You
spend on this show. However, we're just going to talk about interesting bits about it.
Yeah.
And then I'm going to try and make it gay.
I will tell you. Good luck. I will tell you which episodes to skip. So season 1, you have the crash landing and you explore the island.
Twists. I don't need it in chronological. Just tell me the best twists. Some of your favorite twists.
What? You don't want me to tell it in a narrative way? I'll tell you some best twists.
3. That finale sounds pretty impressive. That you went forward. It was forward in time.
That was good. Although I will tell you that when I watched it, I was so confused.
Yeah.
Because I was so caught up in like the flashback concept that when he sees Kate at the end of the episode and she's like, "We have to go back," I thought my first thought was, they knew each other the whole time.
Yeah, I would have thought that too.
And I didn't realize it was a flash forward because I'm not smart. So that was a good twist. At the end of season 3, when Charlie, Dominic Monaghan's character, wanted to leave the show, and so he was put on like a very sort of heroic death. They find an underwater... Wait, do you know about the Hatch?
Yeah, it's a thing of a thing.
The Hatch is like a underground station built by the Dharma Initiative, which is like a scientific expedition that came in the 50s.
Okay.
And they discover these various bases. There's an underwater base, which apparently is what's stopping the islanders from communicating with the outside world. So they go to the underwater base to try to shut that off. There's a character called Desmond who is in the hatch in season 2. You find him, he's in the hatch, pushing a button every 108 minutes. Different story. But he's been in the hatch for like, I want to say 8 years. That could be wrong. Anyway, he's been in the hatch for a long time, pushing this button, not really exploring the island, because he feels like he is saving the world by doing so. Long story. He has his lover is called Penny, and at some point they believe that Penny is looking for him, and so she's sending a boat to where they are.
Right.
And then somebody comes to the island called Naomi, who I know. Okay, sorry, refreshing my memory. Naomi comes to the island in season 3, and she says, "I'm with basically Penny's father on an expedition to find you. Come follow me." Some people are like, "I don't trust you," kind of thing. And she's like, no, there's a boat over there. I can radio them, kind of thing. Desmond and Charlie go to the underground station, and they have a fight with somebody who's there who tries to kill him. He locked himself in the sort of chamber. It starts flooding. He flips the switch so they can contact. He contacts the outside world, and Charlie gets through to Penny, and he's like, Penny, like, as he's like, that's the thing is, he's drowning. He's like, Penny, your boat's here, and Penny's like, what boat? So his last act of heroism is writing on his hand in pen, not Penny's boat, putting it on the glass, showing Desmond, who then has to go tell the other people, don't trust this woman. And that's what season 4 is about, is the boat. So the twist was... Sorry, I
blanked out completely.
You're so ADHD.
I didn't follow that. Yeah, that's
right.
True. Okay, so that was a twist.
I know the better twist.
Thank God, because I blanked out.
Well, I mean, I can't tell you. I can't like set it up because like you're gonna be like whatever.
I know. Don't do it for me. Do it for the people who like the show.
Okay, so one of the better twists that I can remember is when give you a brief structure.
I pretend I know.
Because 6 of them get off the island. 6 of them get off the island. Season 4 it introduces flash forwards, so you're still following the people on the island. You're flashing forward. So there's 6 of them that get off, and somehow John Locke has gotten off as well, and is looking for them, trying to get them to come back to the island because they're needed or whatever for whatever reason. At the end of season 4, Jack is going to a funeral, and it turns out Locke is in the coffin, and he's been dead the whole time. Okay. Well, he's been dead the whole time. That was a massive twist. Because then, what is he doing on the island?
No, because I want to talk about the end.
Oh my God. Okay, forget the twists. I can't give you twists right now because you don't know the story. Let's talk about the end.
No, because once we talk about the end, that's it. Is there any and then Geeker of the Week? And then Smash or Pass. Geeker of the Week, which we forgot to do.
That is fine. Okay, let's do that. I'll tell you. Okay, let's make it a bit gay. Then we'll talk about the end. Then we'll do Smash or Pass.
What are we talking about?
Gay.
Is there anything that's gay?
I will tell you the one thing that is gay.
Oh, fantastic! Yes.
Which was not a highlight of the show. Then we'll talk about the end. And then we'll talk about...
Yeah, because I feel like I want to ask questions about the twists in relation to the end.
Fine. Good. Perfect.
Because I want to ask about that Locke thing.
Okay.
But I need to ask about the end.
Fine. Okay, we'll get there then. Thank you for sticking with us. We're back. We had a bit of a technical difficulty, but we are back. Hopefully you can hear us both just as good now. If you stuck with us so long, thanks for sticking around with us.
You've been crystal clear the whole time.
I know.
I sound like I've been in the toilet.
Maybe they didn't notice. We shouldn't mention that.
That's true. If you made it, like you said, if they've made it this far.
Gosh, Nick has a terrible microphone. Why are they not?
Fucking poor person with a real microphone.
It's better than me sounding tinny all the time, which I feel like I do when we're recording separately.
So before all that, we were going to talk about the slight gay element.
We're going to talk about Gay Lost.
Okay.
Which is going to be a very short section.
In 15 words or less.
Yeah, basically. So the others who are on the island before the plane crash survivors get there, they start interacting with the survivors, and I think they appear. There's a character that they eventually call Mr. Friendly. It's just their nickname for this guy. And he's been in like a bunch of TV shows, so he's a recognizable actor. And he's this big gruff guy who doesn't take any shit. But he's been in the show since like one of the very first interactions with the survivors. When in season 3, when they start focusing on the others more, like you meet a lot of them, he's one of the prominent ones. And Kate's in a cage, and she makes some comment about herself, and this character, Mr. Friendly, says, "Oh, thanks, but you're not my type." And that was it. And the speculation abounded online. Like, ooh, what does he mean? Is he homosexual?
That's it?
Hang on. Ever since then, the character who is a reoccurring, guest character, he kind of starts playing him that way. Like, he wasn't written that way. He just starts playing him that way. And then in one of the flash forwards, you meet him, and he's like there with a young I want to say like a young Filipino type East Asian boy, and gives him a kiss on the cheek, and acts very sort of like a bit flamboyant. And I felt it was a really strange way to shunt a gay character into the show. It really is awful. It's like, I mean, good job for retconning a character to be gay, but what did it add to the story? Exactly zero.
And make him a flamboyant stereotype with a teeny tiny Filipino twink boyfriend.
I mean,
that's what we all do.
If I'm wrong on that aspect of what the race of a young boy was, I'm sorry, but that just shows how much I wanted to erase this memory from my mind.
Clearly, it didn't stick out. Yeah,
it didn't stick out, and I think he's the other characters that are there to like receive a kiss from this guest character and then leave the scene, and it didn't work for me.
No, it doesn't sound like it would.
There's no other explicitly gay character in the entirety of the show, I believe. Although I will say that Danielle gives off very strong survivalist lesbian vibes. I love her character.
I love a survivalist lesbian, but not even like queer themes. It feels like a very heterosexual, straight concept. There's no awkward outsiders or that kind of anything that we would relate to.
That's a good point, because I know like definitely all the romance in the show, like any of the love triangles BS, is all straight. Although, you know what, not to knock it just for being straight, because my favorite character in the whole show is Juliet, who doesn't appear till season 2 or 3. 3. She's not in 2 anyway. But, like, when she and Sawyer go back in time together in season 5, it works. Them two, they just work. And then her sacrifice at the end of season 5 is one of my favorite moments because it's so heartbreaking. But if you know, you know.
Okay.
So anyway, in terms of romance, nothing gay. In terms of being outsiders, I can't even say that the others are outsiders because they are just kind of they're more like a secret cult, a secret organization doing something that you don't know what it is. And they're not being like, they're not being persecuted or nothing wrong with them. So no, it's a very straight show.
No. Let's talk about the ending. Because I want to talk about the twists and everything like that, but it doesn't make sense. I'm not interested unless we talk about the ending. Because you said you had something to say about it.
I do. Because you've asked about flashbacks. Seasons 1, 2, 3, they all focus on a character and flashback to something in the past before they got on the plane.
Yeah.
Or if they weren't on the plane, whatever character they're from. Some of them really work, some of them not so much, but that's the concept of the show. The ending of season 3, suddenly you're like, oh wow, this is a flash forward. This is them foreshadowing that they get off the island somehow. Six of them. And they get off the island, and now we're in season 4, we're still following the characters on the island, dealing with the boat that may or may not be their rescue, and flashing forward to the 6 of them that make it off the island, plus John Locke, who makes it off another way. And Ben Linus, who also makes it off another way, because he's the leader of the others.
Okay.
Season 5, it's probably my least favorite season because they introduced the time travel element where some of them get snapped back to the 50s, so they learn about the Dharma Initiative, how they came to the island, and all those stations that they find, where they came from, basically. It's fun in certain ways, but it's also... I don't like it as a storytelling device.
Okay.
But fine, whatever. Just saying it's my least favorite doesn't mean it's bad. It just means it's my least favorite. Season 6, because Juliet's sacrifice at the end of season 5 it's there to make us believe that everything has been reset. So season 6 starts. Why are you looking at me like that? You got a bored face on your face. Stay with me. Fuck off. Watch. Season 6 starts with the plane safely landing in LA. Okay? So people are like, what? And you keep watching it and you realize that that's just a separate, like a parallel universe kind of thing. And you still following the other survivors on the island and how that resolves to the end of the show. So season 6 is all about this parallel what if scenario, which the people on the forum they call them flash sideways because it's not back or forwards. It's what if they never crashed kind of scenario. So by the end of the season, the finale is basically that the flash sideways, the parallel universe, isn't real. That's kind of a holding place where you go after you die to meet each other again and then proceed on to the afterlife. You can call that a purgatory, but that is only in season 6. So the thing that people get wrong a lot about this show is by saying, oh, that means they were always in purgatory.
They were dead the whole time.
They were dead the whole time on the island. They were not. The story goes that they were on the island with various mishaps and people they meet. And then eventually when everybody does die, they go to this other realm or whatever to see each other again before they pass on. That's the flash sideways bit.
What happens in the normal thing then? What happens at the end?
At the end of the island thing, Jack dies, which we've seen in the finale. So the whole concept of the show is that it's a good versus evil kind of battle, and Jack is fighting the Man in Black, who is a representation of evil, who's reincarnated himself as Locke. So the whole science versus faith thing comes to a head. Jack becomes like the protector of the island for like 2 seconds, and then fights the Man in Black, wins at sealing the evil away. The smoke monster is the evil. So succeeds at sealing that up, but then also dies and passes the sort of the wardship of the island onto Hurley. So Hurley is now the protector of the island.
So who's dead?
Jack at the end of the show. Sun and Jin, Sayid, who dies and then comes back to life and then dies again. That was a really bizarre thing. Juliet, obviously. Charlie dies in season 3. A whole bunch of other people. But at the end of the storyline of the island, that's it. Hurley, Ben Linus, Kate, Sawyer, they all survive. The flash sideways bit happens when everybody dies eventually. It's not
What?
It's not, it doesn't show everybody's death, but we all know that everybody dies eventually. And so this whole...
What happens to them who didn't die? Like, what happens to Hurley?
It remains protector of the island. But at some point in the future, he will die.
So they never get off the island. There's never anything like that, just when they die. Or some people get off the island? Those 6 people you said get off the island? Did they get off the island or did they die?
Those 6 people get off the island at the end of season 4. And we've been flashing back to them throughout season 4. And some of them stay, some of them come back. Oh no, actually Jack makes them all go back.
What?
Yeah.
Why?
Because he believes that it's the way to stop the evil.
What's the evil?
The smoke monster.
What is it?
Evil. It is the embodiment of evil.
How do they explain that?
By doing a flashback to like 1,000 years ago, 2,000 years ago.
Oh god.
Yes. So exactly, I think this is what your reaction is a very good example of why people are upset with the finale, because it's not a very clean answer.
That's such a mess.
It is a bit of a mess, but at the same time, you see everybody resolving their character and passing on to the afterlife, I suppose.
And the fact for the past 15 years, and I watched the final episode, I thought it meant that they were dead the whole time.
Yes, which is why I want to do this fucking episode and telling people that they're wrong. They're not all dead. They've not been. One thing that the UK did... Let me tell you something.
Poor writing that we didn't understand that. To be fair, I didn't watch any of the final season, just the last episode.
Yes, well, fuck you. One thing that show aired in the UK that didn't air in the US was that after that final shot of Jack's dad, who was literally called Christian Shepherd, takes them to the afterlife. Exactly. The end credits are shown.
Christian Shepherd.
Yes.
So shit. Sorry.
I know.
Sorry. Yes.
While the credits are rolling after the final episode, only in the UK do they show again, like, still shots of the beach with the fuselage on it and like waves in the distance. Like, that's what made people believe that they were all dead the whole time.
The bodies were in there, and this is just
it was just plane debris.
Look, we could have thought like,
oh, they were dead the whole time. Oh. Which made people angry because throughout the previous seasons, people on this forum called The Fuselage, people are, and also the producers of the show are on this forum sometimes.
Yeah.
And they're like, they're dead. They're all dead, aren't they? People are posing theories. Oh, they've all been dead the whole time, and they would repeatedly say, "No, that is not correct." And a few other theories until they stopped responding to the theories. But yeah, that's what people were upset. But it wasn't true. They were not all dead the whole time. Just the last season. I suppose you can call that purgatory as a holding place for them to sort of...
But it was an actual purgatory. It was a desert island with a polar bear, a demon smoke monster, and...
That wasn't purgatory.
Exactly. That's what I'm saying.
No, that wasn't purgatory.
It was just a desert island.
It was just a desert island with a science team from the 50s who had left stations there.
There was no need for them to do the whole purgatory afterlife crap thing.
I think that was just them trying to make a storytelling decision about how are we going to move this narrative forward.
There's no reason for that.
Let's make a what if scenario. But the thing is, you can turn your nose at it for sure, turn your nose up at it, but it was a good emotional resolution for all these characters.
It's a swing and a miss.
I don't know. I mean, like, how else would you have ended it?
Oh, I don't know. Like,
answering all the questions in a very fact-based way.
You were never gonna. Well, no. If they'd written it properly, if they'd had an ending from the start,
yeah,
they would have written it properly. But I feel like they didn't make up the ending until what?
No,
3
they
or
probably
4.
didn't.
And like you were saying, season 4.
Okay, let's make a thing. Yeah. And do you remember, like, maybe a decade ago or so, J.J. Abrams, who was suddenly popular because of this show and other shows that he's done, he went, like, doing talks about this mystery box.
Yeah.
And how he would say he bought, the story goes, he bought a box when he was 9 at, like, some county fair, and it was just a big question mark on the front, and it was, like, a mystery inside. And he realized that if he didn't open it, he would always be, the suspense was always better than the answer. And you can...
Schrodinger's plot device.
This story annoys me.
That's really clever. Schrodinger's plot device.
Yeah, well done. Title of the episode. But it annoys me because he's wrong. I don't think that not revealing the answer is more. It could be more suspenseful for sure, but it's not a good resolution to a narrative story.
No, I agree.
So
you have to write an ending if you want to have a satisfying ending.
Yeah.
Just write the fucking stuff.
Yeah. If his story of the box, if the story of his life was he died never opening the box, and we were watching this story, we'd be like, well, what was in the fucking box then? You know?
What did they use? I'm pretty sure they used it in Guardians of the Galaxy and something else as well, where they have a present from like a dead parent, and they never want to open it because it looks like a present from a dead parent. That means more to them than Volume 2 cassette or whatever, it
Yeah.
was. It's a similar kind of...
It's a good example because I thought that paid off really well. Doesn't he not open it until... Is it the end of the film or the... Not until,
Guardians?
Yeah.
Yeah, I think he opens it in the first one because then he has Volume 2.
In the end, yeah, that was what was inside.
And then in 2 he gets the Zoom where it's like 100 songs. Which is funny.
I know.
Yeah, and there's something I'm sure they've done it.
But that works really well because he doesn't open it, and that is a mystery that is eventually revealed. And it's a fulfilling mystery. Like, okay, we don't have the suspense of not knowing what's inside the present anymore, but it's a good answer to the question. If only this is one of the poor versions of one of the things I didn't like about this show is that you do such a good job of setting up a mystery and layers upon layers, and then it doesn't go anywhere. Like there was a whole episode, there was a whole week where John Locke he breaks his leg and he's in the hatch in the little station underground, and Desmond or whoever kind of goes out to do something, and then there's like an emergency switch is tripped, and like all the walls come down, and these black lights pop up, these safety lights pop up, and he can see that somebody had drawn the very intricate map of the island on one of the blast doors that come down with like glow in the dark paint kind of thing. So they're painting on it, and you can he's watching it. It's on screen for like 5 seconds, and then emergency over, boom, switch, blast doors go back up, lights go back on, so you can't see it anymore anyway. And Desmond comes back and says, what happened? He's like, oh, there was a thing. Like he couldn't move, so he's broken his leg or whatever. And the internet is like pouring over this image. Someone screenshots it and it's like, that means that a lot of mysteries here over here. What does this sequence of numbers mean, etc., etc. And doesn't really go anywhere. There's a few things on there actually get referenced in the future episodes, like other stations, but
it sounds really this whole show sounds really unsatisfying. Like they're throwing all this shit at you, trying to make you confused, and then people die and it's over, and you see them.
It's not just about making you confused, but making you ask, "What is it?" I want to know what the answer is.
Yeah, but
I'll come back for next week to get more clues. And it's like I said earlier in the episode. It's like it's about the journey. It's like, how do we uncover these things? What's happening? This grand. What did I say before? The concept piece of this show.
Yeah, but they didn't have an ending for it planned.
Yeah. So, like I said,
it's... I mean, yeah, the same thing happened with Game of Thrones. They didn't have an ending until
George R. R. Martin told him, this is how I want it to end. And he fucked it up. And now we're not going to get those books for another 10 years because he's going to change the ending.
He needs to change it all. Well, that hasn't encouraged me to go and watch it, if I'm honest.
Whatever, I don't care if you do or don't.
But has it encouraged you, listeners? Please let us know.
Did you have any questions about the ending? You said you had a question about the ending, about Locke and the ending.
Well, because I thought they were dead.
Yeah.
So my question was like, how can he have been alive to die, but then be dead in a different thing? But they weren't dead.
They weren't dead, and also
just dead in the future. But now we're in purgatory. Now it's heaven and whatever.
Whatever. He does die, and then he appears on the island, but that turns out it's the smoke monster or the evil incarnate appearing as dead people, which is a great plot device, by the way. So, like, every character that has ever had somebody that they care about die.
It's the Buffy finale,
basically, yeah. And then they see their loved ones on the island, and you're like, what the fuck? It's like,
if that was the whole concept, they could have done that. Could have done that really well, but
they did do that. They did it a lot.
But they did a lot.
They did a lot, and they did do that a lot, and that was one of the few things that made sense. One of the few concepts that was like, okay, the smoke monster or whatever can appear as people who had died. Two certain characters.
But also, it's a magical island where this magical it feels too grounded in reality for the answer to be smoke monster, magic. Evil magic.
Yeah.
It doesn't fit. Whereas if Buffy literally is, it's like, oh, it's this monster that's pure evil, that's every dead person. It's like, well, sure, because
but the thing
it doesn't, for me, that doesn't seem like of course, yes, the smoke monster of death, which is every dead person.
No, well, yeah, so
that's why I'm kind of like, what?
I think
it feels like it came out. Again, I'm the worst person to be saying this because I watched like 5 episodes. It doesn't seem like it came out of like organic.
You have a valid point, and I will say that.
Yay! And on that, I'm not saying anything else.
Fine, don't. But like, I will say that the episode where they explored the origin of the smoke monster, which is this episode where they flash back 2,000 years or whatever. I remember watching it and thinking, okay, there's these two brothers, who I guess represent good and evil, because one's dressed in white, the other one's dressed in black, which is fine because that's been a theme.
Are they both white people?
Yes, I guess. They're like, funnily enough,
White Jesus.
It's a South Pacific island, and they're both white people. Anyway, some ship crash. Like ships have been crashing there all for centuries. Anyway, so when one of the brothers kills the other one, and the body floats into this sort of this cave with a waterfall, the smoke monster comes out. And I remember thinking at the time, was this them explaining the origin of the smoke monster because it's shit? Because it's not scientific. But at the same time, I don't know what I was looking for because it's a fucking smoke monster. What was I expecting for a scientific? Compare that to with something with Buffy, where you don't need to explain the science behind it. It's fantasy.
Dawn's a magical orb. Okay.
Yeah, exactly.
Sure, of course she is. Of course! That makes total sense.
But then why...
It feels like that would... it feels like they were having to hold out for this big reveal finale.
Yeah.
They couldn't explain the flashback beforehand. Like, that would have made more sense to...
You mean the origin of the smoke monster?
Yeah. I feel like if they're like, right, here's what's happened. It's just an island. Shut up. But because they had to leave the mystery, it's like, are they dead? Are they dead all along? They couldn't do it properly, and it would have made more sense that once you realize, like, no, apparently I was wrong. They weren't dead.
Mm-hmm.
The flash, whatever. Then explain. That might have made more. I don't know.
I do remember also thinking at the time. I was like, before the finale, and that 2,000 years ago episode was like maybe the second or third to last episode ever, where they're like, this is meant to be the explanation of one thing, and I remember thinking, they're not going to explain everything, are they? And being
it's like, oh shit,
and being disappointed. I'm like, they're not going to get around to explaining why Desmond has to push the button every 108 minutes.
They never explained that?
No, they don't explain where the numbers.
So
you know those numbers 4, 8, 15, 16, 23, 42?
No.
The sum of which is 108, by the way. I mean, it's brilliant how they used it in a lot of places, but they never explain where they come from.
It means nothing.
They're just numbers that appear everywhere.
It's just numbers.
Yeah. In fact, Hurley, those were his winning lottery ticket numbers, and he keeps seeing them everywhere, and he thinks he's bringing bad luck to everybody.
I remember the bad luck. I remember the bad luck concept.
Yeah.
But it doesn't matter. But he's guardian of the island? What, like, magical guardian?
I guess?
Oh,
because the concept is, spoiler alert, is that the brother who killed his brother 2,000 years ago, he's looking for a new protector, and so he's bringing people via ship crash or plane crash, whatever, to judge their worthiness, whatever, and hasn't found anybody yet.
Is that what the island is for? To judge people to find a replacement? Or what do? Do they just guard the island or the whole world? What's the significance of the island? Is it magical?
The island has been explained as the cork to keep the evil at bay. But it's a very offhand comment. It's not like Yeah, I know. Listen, this is the high concept sci-fi kind of show that you asked answers for.
Yeah.
And that is the answer that they provided.
Swing and a miss. But they swung. Is
true.
Important.
There are other things like
they made a big attempt of it.
There are other unresolved questions about the Dharma Initiative, like what happened to them, how did they set up this facility, whatever, that are unanswered. The concept that they use to provide to explain why the island itself can time travel and why it can't be found is a whole thing as well, which is, again, it's not rooted in anything scientific. Even if they said, listen,
it's the Bermuda Triangle.
It's technology that comes from aliens, for example. Like, then we could be like, okay. But they didn't even do that. They just said, yep, it's a smoke monster that came out of the cave once. When this Jesus figure, this figure slating his brother and it floated in. That's getting really nitpicky and deep, though. And as a concept, like, I get it. Like, okay, you were trying to do... And the thing is, like, we've got a lot of shows that have been aired since then that have learned from these mistakes, you know? Or not.
Yeah. Yeah.
So,
You get WandaVision.
WandaVision, yeah.
Weird concept, high concept, had an ending, but it was 9 episodes or whatever, 10 episodes.
Yeah, only 9.
It didn't have to do
121?
121 episodes, which shares the problem in it. Were the guys topless a lot?
Not enough. Not nearly enough.
At all?
I mean, sometimes, yeah.
Some occasionally or often?
Occasionally.
Fuck off. This is a desert island.
Yeah.
They should be nude.
They should be nude and really thin.
Yeah. That's disappointing. Because the thing I remember, obviously, is that I couldn't decide, and I'm still not sure, who's your favourite? Who's the hot one? It was kind of like this... No, I'm sure there's lots of hot guys on TV, but in the world of sitcoms and everything that was kind of normal beforehand, the guys were not hot.
Yeah.
The women were beautiful, the men were
hot.
ugly and funny.
Oh, in
like
sitcoms,
the sitcoms kind of like that was kind of normal TV before that. So to have this show and like a load of the guys are fucking beautiful.
Mm-hmm.
It was a fun kind of concept. It's like, which one do you perv over? Like, which one's your favorite to kind of talk about at work? I was like, which friend do you fancy? It's like, none of them. They're all fucking hideous. Which guy from Lost do you want to fuck most? Like, oh god. Because it's changed. Like.
Mm-hmm.
And it changed week to week and that sort of stuff.
Mm-hmm.
Which
brings us to...
what a perfect segue into...
Would you like to announce it? Oh, that's the break where it goes in?
Yeah, that was the sound effect. Smash or pass!
There we go. I thought it comes after you announce it.
It does now.
Smash!
There we go. Smash or pass?
Oh, have you got the list already? Oh, you're so smart.
I'm just doing the Google list, and for some reason you don't like it, but...
No, because it's not always accurate, but yeah, go on.
No, but also we don't need to do all of these people.
Oh, there's lots, so I'll keep going. There won't be one where I'm like, huh? Who? Go.
Do you want... We're doing character, right?
Yes.
So I'll just say the character names.
Yeah.
I'm doing it in this order.
Fine.
As comes up here.
Yep.
Hurley.
Pass.
He's
lovely, but he's...
What's he doing now? Did he do something afterwards?
I've seen him in like guest roles and other shows, but don't think it's any, I mean, if you're in a show like Lost and you're one of the main characters, I think Hurley, because the reason he's first is because he's appeared in the most number of episodes, and so good for him. He doesn't have to do anything else.
That's true. Back in the day, make a shit ton of money. Okay, so passing that, Sawyer.
See, yeah. Well, I mean, I'm thinking about the lack of option, and so for that reason, I will smash.
Lack of options?
Yes.
Smash, absolutely.
I mean, I don't like his long hair, but...
Do you even think about it?
Like, he can always have a haircut.
Jack.
He's annoying, but I'll smash it.
Oh, God, he's so hot.
That's what I was going for him.
He's so hot, it was like... Although, wait... Is he problematic as well? I'll Google this later. Probably.
Oh, don't look for it. Don't search for it.
I know. I love the fact that he was so fucking hot as a skinhead in that, but also in the 9 shaved head.
Shaved head where?
In Lost. He had a shaved head.
Oh.
Buzz
briefly,
cut.
Yeah.
Oh, does it grow out? This is how long I was watching.
Yeah, exactly.
It for. Oh, does it go back to Party of 5 length?
None of the people
so hot in Party of 5.
Never saw it. God. I mean, none of the people who crash on the island are barbers. Oh, there is one scene of like Kate cutting Sawyer's hair with some random shears she found.
Oh, so does he like grow a bob or something like that?
No, it's just there's just some hair. He's not. I don't remember him being a buzz cut person. But anyway.
Oh, again, I don't know which. So yeah, okay, smash. Kate.
The character.
Kate.
Smash character.
Smash.
Yeah.
Absolutely. She was badass.
She was. And her background was criminal. Looking for.
It was cool. Season 1, she was cool.
So your whole of like, was it for straight people like saying I can do this? Kate.
Yes.
Kate, yeah.
Saeed,
smash.
Smash.
Yeah.
Absolutely. Jinsu?
Jin.
Yeah, it says Jinsu.
Oh, fine.
Jin?
Jin. Yeah, Smash.
Smash, absolutely. My
Yeah.
God.
He, funnily
Not
enough,
fucking aged! He's like 55 years old!
Asian genes. That's why. He did not speak a word of Korean before the show.
No.
Yeah.
Did he actually learn it?
Yeah. He had to learn Korean for the show.
Did Sun?
Sun, no, I think she's Korean, but the actor who plays Jin is American.
He's American. Charlie.
No, I mean I'll pass this one.
Charlie. Smash.
Charlie,
I
the
will
drug addict,
smash.
a bit too. I don't know. I don't like that type.
Especially back in 2004, he would have been absolutely my type.
Oh really? Yeah, I get it.
Messy top, absolutely.
Yeah.
Definitely. Oh, I'd fall for that. Boone?
Boone. Oh, he's so pretty. I mean, I'd wreck him, sure.
Smash. Absolutely.
He dies in the first series, so I don't know.
Yeah, he doesn't last long, does he? 'Cause
What?
he's like a brother or something. Brother and sister?
Brother sister, yeah.
Ben Linus.
Ben Linus, so evil, but
He was in Buffy.
as the character, what? Who is he in Buffy?
He was like, wasn't he like one of the creepy demons in like season 5 that tried to steal? No, I think it was someone else.
I don't remember. I don't think so.
I will.
Searching the actor.
I mean, he looks like he's been in Buffy.
So the character of Ben Linus, such a manipulator, but he's very sort of focused. I might smash that. Yeah, sure. I'd be like, yeah, trick me into something.
Was he in Buffy? Please write in and let us know, because he looks like he was, but
We can search it now.
I'm wrong. No, let the audience tell us. Let's carry on.
Okay.
Locke.
Pass.
Yeah, pass. He was really annoying. I didn't like his like, oh god, I'm a tracker and a hunter. It's like, whatever. Shut up.
I get his fervor, like fine, I get it, but he's so he's the faith in that science versus faith debate. And
So he was so self-righteous. He annoyed the shit out of me.
yeah.
Sun.
Who?
Sun.
Sun? I thought we did her already. Yeah.
No, we just mentioned that she's queen.
Oh right, fine.
We didn't say
She's
if you would
pretty.
smash
You know what? She's delicate. I'll pass it because I don't want to ruin it.
it. You don't want to ruin it.
Yeah. She's
Yeah. Okay.
she's pure.
Oh god, I'm still looking at.
Although
her husband, like
she is a badass. Sun, the character, is a badass as well.
Like, he's so beautiful. Anyway,
She'd kill me. She'd happily kill you.
I'll say smash. Why not? Claire.
Pass.
I don't know any of these.
Annoying.
anymore.
You know Claire. She's the pregnant one.
Oh gosh.
The
pass.
only Australian on that plane from Sydney to LA, apparently.
Oh.
There's no other Australian in the
Well,
cast.
the Australians are staying where they are.
Oh, they all died.
Get rid of all the Americans. That's true. Desmond.
Oh, Desmond.
He's hot. Who is he?
Oh, Desmond. He smash. Love Desmond.
Oh my god. Yeah.
You need to watch
a Peruvian Scottish actor.
Peruvian. I knew he was.
Oh.
He was Scottish.
Bugger me.
He's got a Scottish accent in the Dead Like Me film that came after the 2 series. Anyway, watch the show.
Was he in Jesus?
Watch the show for
about,
Desmond.
He was in a film about Jesus. Was he Jesus?
Of course he was. Probably. I don't know. Probably.
Looks like he'd be Jesus. Jesus.
Let's start with season 2.
Jesus has risen. So
Desmond is the person in the hatch. Start from season 2. We'll watch it until.
I don't want to.
He's the best episodes of the show are his.
I'm fine. Shannon.
Shannon's annoying. Pass.
Okay, I don't know who she is, so I'm going to pass.
She's Boone's sister.
Okay. Juliet.
Love her. Smash.
She looks super familiar.
Yeah, she's in a lot of stuff.
Oh god, I think I know her from Santa Claus.
Oh yeah, she was in Santa Claus, like Santa Claus 3 or something like that. Santa Claus 3. She was in the remake of V, the TV show V, about the aliens that arrive to Earth and sort of try to make friends.
Like 2 of them or something.
It wasn't a good show, but she was great, and she was in The Expanse as well.
Oh, that's probably. I mean, I haven't seen it, but I've probably seen her on the interweb. Anna Lucia.
Anna Lucia. Everyone hates on her. I love
Michelle
her.
Rodriguez.
Michelle Rodriguez.
I'm not a big
No?
Rodriguez fan. No, she's off-putting.
I've never seen any of the Fast and the Furious films, but I do. Anna Lucia is a bit of a badass with a soft side. The episode that she dies in season 2, she has such a little. People like hate on her because she's so heartless.
Yeah.
But then in the last her last episode is a flashback. I think she has like 3 flashbacks in season 3. People are annoyed about that. But like, she's a cop and she goes to Australia to like find somebody, some reason that she's like, she calls her mom. She's like, Mom, I'm tired. I just want to go home. I'm done with this. What I've been doing, I just want to change. I want to be a changed person. I just want to come home.
And then she dies.
And then she crashes on the island and dies.
Crashes on the island.
Yeah, she gets killed. She gets killed by a person who betrays the group.
Who?
Michael.
Who's Michael?
Oh,
Michael Dawson. Does he have a kid?
Yeah, he was
annoying.
He's annoying. Pass.
I'm sorry. Pass. He
was like, oh, bye.
Oh, he betrayed and he killed her?
Walt!
What a
dick. Yeah, because he's trying to get Walt back.
Who's Walt?
Walt is the kid who gets abducted by the others, and he makes a deal with the others to betray his friends to get his son back and get off the island.
Okay. Next one?
I didn't get that.
Walt.
Walt is a kid. Was a child.
Not now.
But you do see him grown up, and he's much... Was that a picture?
That's him now. That's him all grown.
Oh, he's... Yeah.
He
he'd get it now.
is... But that's the actor.
Yeah.
What's the mechanics of this special pass? We can't smash the kid.
Because, okay...
But did the kid grow up or did he die?
The kid grows up.
We can smash the grown up.
I don't know how old he is. I don't know if he's... I think he's like 14, 16 when they see him again.
Sliding time scale.
Yeah, so hang
still
on.
no.
Okay, for that reason, no. But he's got something. He's got some connection with the island, and when he and Michael get all
like a child's innocence or some shit like that.
It's like magic-y types of. He doesn't. I forget what it is, to be honest, because they could have used that so well, but they didn't bring him back. So
Libby.
She crazy.
I don't know.
She isn't. She's killed off too soon with no flashback episode.
Oh.
One of the tailies. She gets killed at the same time as Ana Lucia. And it's such a tragedy because she could have done really well. Oh, rumor has it that they kicked her off the show because she got a DUI in Hawaii.
Oh, I think I've heard that. Mm-hmm. Yeah. But would you smash her?
Michelle Rodriguez as well. I would, because in one of Hurley's flashbacks, you see her in the mental hospital with Hurley.
Do we want to go? How many of these do we want to do? Because
5 more.
Because Paolo's quite far down.
Let's get to him then.
Paolo.
No, smash.
He's like the hottest fucking human that
he's very gorgeous
ever lived.
Brazilian, right? Yeah,
he's looking a little rougher now.
The characters of Nina and Pablo are the most hated characters in all of TV, I think. And hot take, they were given a bad rap.
He was in Charlie's Angels Full Throttle.
Was he?
Yeah, he's hot surfer boy.
With the other guy we talked about, Justin Theroux. Look, our conversations have come full circle. Smash.
Oh my god, please.
Okay, that hot picture overshadowed my hot take.
Oh, I'm so sorry.
It's fine.
Hot
take. Nina and Nikki and Paolo are way underrated. They were not given the treatment that they could have given. They were introduced incredibly poorly. The audience hated them. The fuselage said these characters are terrible. They have to go. So the producers killed them off. Very viciously, by the way. And the stories didn't work, and they were it was a missed opportunity to expand on the other survivors who are not one of the main cast, basically. That is definitely a swing and a miss, was the introduction of them. They could have done a lot better, and they just did it poorly, and it's a shame.
Rob McElhenney was in it.
Rob McElhenney is like one episode. He's like a guard for the others. I remember looking him up and thinking, I don't even think he was like had a line. I could show you like
the guy from Heroes was in it.
Which guy from Heroes?
Psychic policeman from Heroes.
Psychic policeman
in Heroes. Telepath. Was that him?
Show me what's the actor's name?
Greg
Grunberg. Oh, him. Yeah. I think he's like.
Let's smash.
He's on the boat. I think he's a small character on the boat or on the helicopter or something.
Oh, Nestor Carbonara guy. He was
in the
hot in the older days.
yeah. He's hot.
Richard Alpert.
Richard Alpert. He's in the later seasons. He's one of the
Oh, no,
others who defects.
I'm confusing him with someone else who was hot.
I still smash him. He's got a good heart.
Any of these you want to smash? Because this I don't know who any of them are. So
La 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 la. Paolo. Oh, shave that beard.
I know. He's trying to seem. He's got a bit.
Mr. Echo.
Who's Mr. Echo? I don't know why I'm asking that. The audience might know.
Oh, why didn't you read some of these?
I don't know who they are. I don't know if it's worth it.
This is Mr. Echo. He's got a good arc. Didn't come back for the finale because I think he asked for too much money. So they said, no, fuck you. We're not going to bring you back in it.
That's disappointing.
He had a really good flashback episode. It was really good. I'd smash it though.
Yeah. Ooh. Like some of his other headshots. Oh, was he in Suicide Squad?
Oh yeah, he was the shark.
Croc.
No, Croc. He was the Croc.
That is a waste of that face.
Yeah.
Well, let's not talk about Suicide Squad. I can't. Not again.
No. So who should we end on?
I should have ended on Paolo.
Let's.
Julie Bowen was in it? Andrew Delve.
Who's Jeremy Bowen?
It doesn't say, it just says...
Oh, Julie Bowen.
Yeah.
Yeah. She was Jack's ex-wife.
Oh.
Smash.
Sure.
We can end on Jack's ex-wife.
Yeah, sure. If I was that way inclined, I probably would too. Yeah. I'm just looking at Rodrigo Santoro.
Yeah. Come back in like 5 minutes.
Look at that.
So that is our first episode about first. That was my opportunity to set the record straight about what happened in Lost. It is a very geeky show, not gay.
Not gay at all, but
like Harry Potter.
Oh god, I'm impressed how wrong I got it.
Okay.
And how long I've thought that was the case and had no idea.
Yeah.
Would it have been? Did everyone get it right that actually watched the full series, or did people make mistakes like I did, or is it just people who didn't watch it that made mistakes?
I think of the many people that I speak to who have seen the show, I don't know if they've seen the whole show, but the majority of them say, "Oh, they were dead the whole time."
Yeah, I wonder if it's
so I don't know if that
up.
was I don't know very many other Losties, to be honest, because I feel like I'm in a field of my own. I feel like I'm the only gay in the village.
They were trying to do too many things. It wasn't satisfying to watch because you never got any kind of resolution. It was just more questions.
Yeah, well,
which is why I gave up.
Yeah, but
I think I gave up.
You gave up like after 4 episodes.
Yeah. Well, when did the smoke appear?
Episode 1.
Oh, I was around then.
Yeah. But like, yeah, I stuck with it because I wanted to know the next clue, whatever, and I was sucked into the mystery of it and all. But I get that it wasn't satisfying in terms of the mystery, but I was okay with the characters' story arcs concluding, which they all, I think, pretty sure they all did. Whether or not they died or had some sort of resolution, for the most part, I'm speaking very generally. But we only scratched the surface. If dear listener, you have any questions or comments or complaints, you can email us at incompletegeeks@gmail.com. That's incompletegeekspodcast.
There we go.
@gmail.com. We'd love to hear from you. If you have any suggestions for future episodes that you want to hear about, let us know.
If 10 people email in and say we want us to do like a live watching of it, I'll do it.
Of Lost?
Yeah. I'll do it, but...
No. That would take a long time.
An episode of Lost or something.
You would... It's a long-form TV show. You have to...
An episode.
Could you imagine watching Game of Thrones one episode like in season 5?
Yeah.
And not having seen anything else?
That'd be great. If you'd like to connect with us on social media, we're on Instagram and TikTok @IncompleteGeeks.
Yep.
That's it.
I was like...
That's the only socials we're plugging now, because we want people to meet us on there.
Please do. Don't forget to give this episode a positive rating. Give it a like. Share it with your friends if you know anybody who likes Lost.
Give it a share, even if you don't actually share it with people. Like in Spotify or Apple Podcasts, share it.
Really?
And then, like, it doesn't matter. Because that would really help us. Because that it might send some signals that, like, everyone's talking about these guys. Everyone's talking about these guys. They've got to... And it will serve our gay geek content to otherwise gay geekly inclined people.
That's a good point.
On the platform. I don't know if it works, but it's worth a try.
Yeah.
But a review would be smashing.
Yeah, give us a review.
A good one.
A good one, yeah.
A good one would be...
Subscribe to this channel on Spotify or Apple Podcasts or Amazon, whichever.
Please, and let us know what you want us to talk about.
Because as much as I do know about this TV show, I probably forgot some things. There's a lot of details. I probably missed something. And of course...
I don't know fucking anything.
Yeah.
Because...
Yeah, I don't fucking know anything.
I don't fucking know anything about this.
You don't know anything because, as much as we try to be, we're not complete geeks.
But we are working on it.
We are indeed, yes. So thanks for listening.
Bye-bye. Peace.